technically every farmer,
should get
every
something.
farmer, every rancher,
We'll get something.
you're going to get something. Go for it. How you could still have a farm loss and get up to $20,833 in this Paycheck Protection Program, and you may be able to go back to 2020 and get it there by going to your lender. But also, if you got the PPP1, as we're going to refer to it in this video, you now as a farmer rancher can come back for the second draw and again get up to that $20,833. What's the big change? You know, and it's, if you want to, Debbie, because we're assisting farmers and ranchers.
So the biggest difference here is the fact that the previous PPP, you had to actually show a profit on your Schedule F. With this PPP, you do not have to show a profit. They're actually going to figure what your PPP loan would be off of your gross income from your Schedule F. So you would be looking at what is on line 9 of the Schedule F, your gross income.
Okay, so this is gross income. And notice that here on the form Schedule F, it's up here on line 9 versus down here on line 34, where that it's a net profit or loss. Mm-hmm. And so really to go back, and some of the statistics says that almost 40% of the farmers that applied for PPP1 late last winter, early spring, mm-hmm. approximately 40% of those farmers got declined any PPP. And then there was farmers that were unaware of this.
Right.
The reason why, again, as Debbie said, they were all getting turned down was, here where I'm going to put this pin. It was because the farmer went into Farm Credit Services, they went into the local bank, and when you looked at net profit, if it was negative, that in effect was how for that farmer, and I'm going to just for a moment say the farmer has no employees. So that farmer with no employees, how could I get paycheck protection? Well, again, the old rules that are gone, they came to line 34 in the Schedule F and go, wow, you have a loss. You don't qualify. So with that, and again, remember, almost 40% of the farmers that applied didn't get anything. So you're all in this bucket. And then all the farmers and ranchers that didn't know anything about this, you're in this bucket too. So we'll walk through some of the, how to qualify. And the most important thing is to work with your local lender, who you do business with. Let's say a farmer has a loss. Just a simple example. Let's say a farmer has a $20,000, $30,000 loss. They were turned down. Now if you go back to the financial institution, and sometimes here in the next week, all the instructions from SBA will be sent out to the lender. Starting next week, there should be an open window for application of this, so it's important to communicate with the lender. But the thing about it, you got a farmer, had a loss 2019. Mm-hmm. In 2020, they went to the lender and said, oh, look here, I've got $200,000 in gross income back here on line 9. So let me just write something in here. Let's just do an example. Let's just say this number is $200,000. Now, that sounds like a lot of money. It could be a farmer that had $20,000, $30,000 in sales. It could be a farmer that had $5 million. So then we got down here, we got done, and we had a $30,000 loss. If you took this to the lender, last year they told you don't qualify. Under this new PPP program, starting in January of 2021, what the lender is going to do is going to look at this number, which is a positive $200,000. It has nothing to do with your expenses. So that means that between 35 and 40% of people got turned down. Go back, because if this is your return, you got money coming to you. And again, the lenders, your local lender through SBA is going to get this for you. But then when we talk about this magical number of $20,833, that's because there is a cap here. You cannot qualify for determining your payroll, because it's technically
your payroll cost.
So this becomes, for a 12-month period, to any individual, cannot exceed
$100,000.
$100,000. So if you want to look at your Schedule F, in 2019, and there are some exceptions for 2020. Again, check with your lender. Then what's going to happen is they're going to say, okay, you got qualified PPP potentially of 2.5 times the monthly average of that 100,000.
Right. So if my gross income is 200,000, I can still apply. I'm just capped at 100,000.
Correct. And then they're going to take that, divide that by 12 for monthly, and multiply it times 2.5, just like they do on any other business. So at that point in time, if I divide that by 12, multiply it by 2.5, that's where I come up with this magical number. Now, if this on line 9 would only be, let's say it's 24,000. Okay, that's a small farmer, 24,000. We have farmers that size in our area. Well, I take that, divide it by 12, that's 2,000. I take it times 2.5 for the qualifying period, and that would qualify me for a $5,000, give me the money. I mean, I like this, but it's a huge change, and this is one of those things. Last year, it's kind of like having cattle. You know, right now I've got a couple of hundred yearlings in the lot. If somebody opens that door, I know the cattle are gone. Well, in this case, all the stuff on the internet right now tells you can't get this. So you start Googling it. It's the wrong information. Matter of fact, I tried some of this right before we started this program. It's wrong. So the point of it is, again, there's a group that got turned down that had a loss last year, they qualify. But for everybody else, you still qualify if you haven't applied for the loan. That's still what I'm going to call PPP1,
right?
Which again, what's my qualifying for PPP1? Because in a minute we're going to talk about everybody in PPP2.
If you haven't already gotten a PPP loan, then you still qualify for the first round stipulation.
Which means to me, the farmer, I didn't apply in the first round,
right?
Because I had a farm loss.
Most didn't.
So a lot of our clients didn't. So what happens now is I apply the PPP1 rules, which means it was necessary, but I don't have to determine any reduction in gross receipts. None of those rules apply, but I make the application now. So in that case, I qualify based on the PPP1 rules, but I'm applying at the same time. The other people that got 1 would be applying for 2. So Debbie, if you want to kind of transition us from, again, I'm trying to divide this. The people that got turned down because of a loss last year, people have not applied yet. They follow the PPP1 for qualifications.
Right.
Very simple. Just go to your lender and have your Schedule F for 19, and if you have it for 20, go to your lender, and the information is right here. So Debbie, take us from this group, really the first timers, and move us to, we got it the first time.
So if you got it the first time, you still have a chance of getting PPP2. You will need to check at that point. You've got to look to see if you have a reduction in gross income. It would still be gross income for your farmers. Gross income of 25% or more in any quarter when you're comparing 2019 and 2020.
Okay, so that sounded like a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
I'm a farmer, okay? So we got to talk turkey, so to speak. So what you're telling me in this if I already have got it in PPP1, then we're talking about that group of people, that group of farmers and ranchers. You're now got to go and you can get a second one up to the 100,000, up to the 20,000, 833. That's my money. But we had to have a reduction in a quarter compared to a prior quarter.
Yes.
In 2019.
Yes.
If we qualified in one of those quarters, then I need to take that information to the bank. So you're going to have to know when your sales were and look quarter to quarter between the 2 years and take that to your lender. And what will happen, they will assist you in then going and saying, yep, you qualify in a quarter. Now, the one thing we've left out of here is the farmers with employees. You also qualify for those employees. So you may have that farmer that applied with employees and they didn't get
the portion on their bottom line.
They didn't get the portion as the owner.
It was a loss.
But they still got it on their employees. In that case, those farmers are under PPP2 because they already got
one.
Yes. Keep that in mind. Now I have got some questions on what happens if, I would like to have a recalculation under the old, for this first group we just talked about, that, well, it's not fair. I should be able to go back to PPP 1 and get an adjustment. And this will be in the SBA instructions when they come out to the banks. What happens is there is a recalculation that can be, but it's only for loans that have not been forgiven. So if you still have an open loan under PPP 1, now again, this is for the PPP 2 farmers and ranchers, you can go back and ask your lender to recalculate the old PPP 1 application to include the owner's gross, which would be substantial, and then from that you would get a higher payment on PPP 1. But the key here, I can't say enough times, if the loan has been forgiven already, then you cannot go back. And then the thing about it, under PPP 2, again, we've been talking about owners up to now, but what happens if I have employees? It's going to be the same set of rules as in the past. We're going to be looking at their wages and stuff. And again, I keep referring, go to your lender. We've been through PPP 1 with lenders. And I can tell you, they do a good job. But what we found out in PPP 1, it was like monthly. SBA changed the rules. So then it trickled to the lenders, and then the lenders had to change the rules.
And the SBA sometimes say, lenders, it's up to you on what documentation you want to prove that you're loaning the correct amount. So each bank will be different in what they want from you in order for you to get this loan.
Yes, and so my point is, reach out to the lender. Some lenders will not be participating. I've already got some lenders I know of that's not going to participate in PPP 2. Well, in that case, you go to another financial lending institution. But it doesn't matter which one of them you go to. There's no special deal. But the thing that we did this video is to do a reach out, because really, again, as I did my demonstration, the advertising was the cattle leaving the lot. They're already out on the range. All this communication has gone through it's gone through church, it's gone through the local co-op, etc. Wrong information because of the law that changed about a week ago.
Right.
So here's what I say to everyone out there. Please have others get it to your cattlemen's association, get it to the corn co-ops and stuff. Get this out there because it's not out there. Click that you like, click on that little bell. But the thing about it, spread the word, because I can tell you, everybody I talk to, nobody knows.
Right.
It's a secret. So please broadcast the secret. Please tell people to watch this video. And again, in wrap, technically, every farmer
should get
every farmer, every rancher,
we'll get something.
you're going to get something. Go for it. This is like, I'm sorry, but it's like having a money tree out in the backyard. We're in a pandemic. This is part of the system. Please, this might be the lifeline that keeps you and I in business. I want to thank you. I hope this helps a lot. Stay tuned as we get more guidance. And remember, the guidance is coming through SBA, not the IRS.
Right. Contact your bank. Thank you.
Debbie may be getting a PPP first time loan on her farm. Anyway,
Don't
thank
tell my
you.
husband.
Don't put that on camera. Anyway, thank you all. Have a great day.